everyone. Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Whew, it's been a busy day. Busy day. I hope you caught my live a couple of hours ago or so in regards to big announcement. So we may mention that here in just a little bit, but if not, go back and watch that. Did it, I think, around 3:30ish, 4, somewhere around in there. So if you're on, hop on. Let me know that you're here. Let me get my iPad working here so that I can read your comments as we go. Everything's running kind of slow for me here tonight, so I'm not sure what's going on with it. But if you will, hi Selma. Thank you for commenting. Trying to get my comments to come up on my iPad here. All right, there's the one from earlier. See if we can get it going. Sometimes it just pops right up, and then sometimes it just doesn't want to cooperate. It doesn't want to cooperate tonight. Let me see if I can get completely out of it and then just go right back into it and see if maybe that'll work. So what are you up to today, Selma? Everybody trying to finish up their Christmas shopping? I am done. I wrapped the last gift yesterday, and I am done. Okay, for some reason, they're just not wanting to come up today. Technology. It's wonderful when it works, but it's not wonderful when it doesn't work. Oh well, I'll just have to read your comments up here. Hi, Terry. Glad you could hop on. We're going to do something kind of different tonight. We're going to just paint on, I'm using just cardboard out of, I ordered some more of the canvas, the 3D canvas blocks, and these come in it. So I'm just going to use this, but y'all can use whatever you want to. If you have some scrap wood, if you have some poster board, color probably would work a little bit better for you. You can see it, but I'm going to use this and make it work. But several of you, after last week's tutorial on painting Santa, said, you know, could we just have a tutorial on just the beards? I went kind of fast. I don't really do anything fast, but it was fast as far as showing you step by step what to do. So we're going to slow it down a little bit, and I've got a few different ways to, that we're going to kind of experiment tonight. And of course, it's going to look better on wood and on your actual piece that you're doing. It would be better, but than on paper. But I think this will help enough to get it across. Before we get started, though, on anything like that, I just want to say that any of those that were affected by this horrible storm, and you know that we've got several painting friends that live up in that area, that live in Mayfield, that were affected by the storm, and just when you think you've seen it all or heard it all, here come more pictures of more devastation. So please know that our hearts and our prayers go out to you if you were affected in any way, and if you are just somebody that is helping up in that area. You know, our prayers are with you. Just think of all the linemen and the first responders, and you know, they're all come to the hospital. Well, I don't know that there's a hospital for them to go to in their town. I saw a lady this morning on the news. She said, I just want to go home and get in my bed. She said, I'm just exhausted. I just want to go home. And then she started crying. Said, I don't have a home to go to. You know, so count your blessings. I was cooking supper last night, or about to cook supper, and I was just so tired. We'd had a busy day, and I don't want to cook. I don't want to cook. Let's just go get something. And then I stopped and I thought, you know, there are so many people right now in that area that would give anything to have a kitchen again to cook in. So I closed my mouth and I cooked supper. But we just want to let you know that we care so much, and you are in our prayers, and you know, just especially this time of year. But anyway, we just want you to know that we do care, and that's forefront, I mean, of anything that's going on right now. So, but we're going to paint tonight, and so if you're painting along, let me know if you're practicing along. But I've just kind of drawn out a little with pencil. Just, we're not going to do faces or anything tonight. We are just going to do a few of the beards, and just some different ways. We're going to start with the way I did it last week, with just a liner. We're going to base coat in a gray, and then with the liner brush we'll do some little wispy whiskers, and so that's what we're going to get started on now. And please go back and watch if you did not see that this morning, or this afternoon, I'm sorry, if you didn't see the big announcement. It's big for me, but Tamara Bennett with Southern Adornments Decor is putting on another live this year. She didn't get to do it last year because of COVID, but this time I don't know if she's just excited about coming to Dallas, or if she got tired of hearing me beg her to come to Dallas. But so she is having her live event in Dallas. It's at the Marriott Plano Legacy Hotel, and it's July the 15th and the 16th. I was going to put a link in earlier for you to go to that and look at the ticket sales and more information, but that is not available to the public until tomorrow. So sometime in the morning I will post that link, but she is talking about it on Southern Adornments Decor on the Facebook, and if you have any questions at all, let me know. If it's something I can answer, I will answer for you. If not, she and her team will have the answers. So my big thing is, she contacted me a couple of weeks ago and asked if I would be one of the presenters. And I told them earlier today, I said, when I started breathing again and my heart started pumping again, I said, well, sure, I would love to do that. So I will be one of the presenters. I'm going to do a Christmas project, and a little bit different this time. Usually we all paint together. There's about 200 women that usually paint, and she has several presenters, and then but we're all in the same room. This year we're going to do throughout the day go into what she calls breakout rooms. So you'll have everybody will be doing something different. There'll be about 50 women to each room at a time. Then we'll rotate, so you'll get to do everything, but it'll just break it down a little bit, so we'll have a little more one-on-one and get to meet everybody. So I'm so excited about it. So if you can at all attend that, it will be very, very much worth your while. It is so much fun. I am so excited about being a presenter, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, I might miss some of the fun stuff, but it's worth it to be able to do some one-on-one with you guys and paint. There will also be vendor booths there for you to purchase things if you want to. Several are flying in from all different states and just all kinds of different areas. So there will be a lot of women there, a lot of activities, a swag bag full of goodies. I know last time she did door prizes. I don't know if she's doing that this time. Drawings all throughout the day. Her husband Michael will be there, so you'll get to meet him. She's got other activities going, so once I can post that link tomorrow, you can, purchase a ticket, but in the meantime, you can go to southernadornmentsdecor.com tomorrow, and she's got some videos that she's done some information on. So, but you're welcome to private message me if you have any questions about it that if I could answer them, I will, but if not, I'll just refer you to them. But so excited, and I've been to the two that she's had, and it was just wonderful. The friendships that I've made from those, and just being with so many painters that understand what you do and why you love it so much, because they all do the same thing. There were beginner painters there that had never painted before that had a wonderful time. Hi, Marie. And there were advanced painters there that, had a great time. They would help the others if needed. It was just like one big family, and it was just wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring you down. And if you've just hopped on, what we're going to do tonight, we're not painting a wood piece or anything. We're just going to do a few different Santa beards. And I've just got this kind of drawn out on some poster boards that you can paint on whatever you want to. The only colors that we are going to use tonight are white and a couple of different colors of gray. So you just need a lighter gray and a darker gray, and any white will do. And for this one, we're going to use a liner brush. So I'm going to go ahead and get, with this lighter gray, I'm going to go ahead and base coat this right quick. And again, this is not going to look like it would normally on your wood piece. This is cardboard paper, so it will look a little different, but it's going to get the same idea. So I'm going to bring you down here, and I'm going to try one more time to get my comments to come up. They came up just fine last time, but they're not wanting to come up this time for some reason. Let me see if I can get you going here. It is very, very windy here, and I understand that we're going to be getting some storms and that it may be a little windy for the next few days, and we're supposed to get some rain. Okay, let's see. Okay, it is just not going to give me comments tonight, so I'm not sure what's going on with it. Okay, so I'll try to bring you up every few minutes or so and see what we can do. So I'm not going to get my brush super, super wet with this because it is paper. So I'm going to get it damp, my brush damp. And then just give it a light base coat. And this is what you would do on your wood piece, or whatever piece you're painting on. This is Anita's Rainy Day Gray. You could even go just a little bit lighter if you wanted to, but I like a little bit of that dark underneath so it'll show up. So let's just get kind of a rough draft here, I guess you would say. Just kind of a simple little base coat. And that brush, the bristles are going everywhere. Of course, you would take more care with it if it was on an actual paper. I'm sorry, wood piece. So Tamara didn't call me. She sent me a text. And it took me several minutes to reply to her because I was still kind of in shock that I was being invited to do that, and it took me a minute to reply to her, but I'm so excited. So is anybody on here that's watching? Are you going? I know Marina Vitale, I think's how you say it. I know she's going. Judy Logston, that's on here. That's usually on here. She's going. They were selling tickets like crazy this morning. She opened it up to her membership, her Painters Clubhouse, what we call PC Sisters. She opened it up to us first for 2 days, and then she opens it up to the public tomorrow. Okay, so I'm just doing a simple little base coat. And beards are all different shapes. And I'm not getting real precise here. Just mainly wanting to show you the technique. Okay, now while that is still wet, I'm going to go ahead and so that the mustache is a little more prominent so that you can kind of separate it, I'm going to go with that darker gray. This is Anita's, it just says gray, G-R-E-Y. But it's darker than the gray we just base coated in, and I'm going to do some shading underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and get my brush with the base coat color, and then just on the tip here, just on that, just like a triangle, just on the tip, and we're going to go under. Now you would have better coverage on your wood piece. So we're just going to go right underneath that, and you might have a mouth here, but tonight I'm just wanting to show you the different techniques. Okay, I'm just feathering it out. Most of it's going to be covered up, but it will make a difference. Okay, so you can see how dark that is under the mustache. So that kind of separates the beard and the mustache. So we're going to go with the mustache. We're going to go ahead with that lighter gray and fill it in. Okay, I'm going to push my sleeves up a little bit. I went to a party today, not really a party, a brunch, with some of my coworkers that I used to work with at the bank before I retired. They've all retired, but I haven't seen some of them in probably 3 years. And it was so good to see them all. Now this would be his nose, so it would be flesh. But it was so good to see them. They wanted to know if I was loving retirement and taking it easy. And I said, well, I own my own business now, so there's no rest for the weary, but I don't feel like it's work because I enjoy it so much. But I do work very hard at it. Okay, so we've got that mustache base coated. Of course, you're going to be a lot neater if you were doing it on a regular piece. Now I'm going to dry that just a little bit. But here's what we've got so far. So light gray, and then shaded with a dark gray. Now on this, you could reverse it. You could do all this white and then come back with gray streaks. So you could do it really either way. Miss Maria? You're late? Oh, you haven't really missed anything. All we're doing tonight, Maria, is not painting a piece. I'm just going over several different ways you can do Santa's beard. We've had a lot of ladies, or I've had a lot of ladies this past week ask me to do a tutorial on just Santa beards. And y'all, I could literally paint Christmas just all year round. I really do. I usually paint something Christmas at least once a month through the year, but I'm going to step it up since I'm going to have a booth at Tamara's thing. I'm going to have to really get busy because I've got some other things going too. I've got my first, I did it years and years and years ago, but this is the first one now since I've had this business. I'm going to do what we call an in-home craft sale. You know, we do in-home paint parties. Well, this is going to be an in-home craft sale, and I'm going to display everything just like it was a craft booth, but only in someone's home, and it's going to be come and go, so I've got all my items packed up and ready to go over there and get it ready, set up in their dining room and living room. And then she's got several people that are going to come and go and shop and have some hot chocolate and cookies. So I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, so I'm going to take my liner brush, and this is it's a low Cornell, and it's a size 2. Now this one is a good liner brush, and it is Master's Touch, and it's a size 30/aught. So they're just about the same. This one's longer, so I can't live without my liner brush. I have to have good liner brushes. And so we're going to just take white, and this is just Ceramcoat. It's my favorite white. And I'm going to get my brush wet, and I'm not even going to dab it on the cloth. I'm going to add just a little bit of water. Anytime I'm doing liner work, I like for it to be the paint a little bit thin. Okay, and then I'm going to twirl it out, and let's start with the beard. So you want to go the mustache. You want to go in the direction, like the mustache is not going to come down. It's going to go out. So that's what we're going to do with it. And we're just going to start with some long strokes. Now this white's not going to show real good on the white background here, but I go out above it. I just let them let it come out over the mustache. So if you had the real Santa or the real wood piece, then you would know to, you know, just let it kind of come out over it. And I'm just going with the shape of the mustache. Now this again is cardboard, so it really drinks that paint up. And I'm leaving, now here I'm coming down, up here I'm coming up, and then just kind of straight out there. But, so since it is this cardboard, I'm adding more water than I normally would, just to get it to kind of flow. So I do long strokes, and then I come back in and do some little short strokes. Oh, I went to Walmart today. It was a madhouse. I think they had 2 or 3 checkers checking. And the rest was self-checkout, and everybody was not happy at all. There were lots of people that were complaining, and really, I mean, really complaining. So I just kind of stood there, and yes, it was frustrating, but I thought, you know what? Again, just think of all the people in Kentucky that would love to have their Walmart back and be able to shop at any store. Okay, so I am leaving some of the gray showing. Let me get this little guy over here. This is the one we painted last week. So see how I'm leaving some of that gray showing underneath to give it a base. Let me try to work with this again and see if I can get it up, because I want to see your comments. I have to work with it when I get off here to see why it is not. But it is just not. I know Facebook was having some trouble with it, so maybe it's not me, because it's been working just fine. Let's get it going this way. Oh, I think I got it. I think I got it. Yes, I do. Hi, Miss Jean. Yay, look at me, Miss very non-technical, fixing that. You can also put a little bit of like buttercream, a little bit of buttercream underneath it. That also gives it a little bit of a different effect. Now, I'm coming out over this mustache, but again, you just can't see it because it's on a white background. Okay, so look at the difference in the one that's done and the one that's not. So it really, really makes a difference having that background under there. Okay, and I'm just reloading my liner brush, and I'm going here, up and over on the top, down and around and out on the bottom. I like to turn it upside down when I'm doing the other side. Just works better for me. Y'all, I went shopping today at Walmart, and I got several things that I was needing. Some paint, some canvases, tablecloths, all kinds of things. And I didn't have time to put them up when I came in. So they are all over this room. I've got things trying to get ready for that sale Monday. Plus we have our family Christmas this Saturday. So I've got things ready for, getting things ready for that. I've got company spending the night Friday night, and then they're going to ride with us to, it's down close to Dallas where my daughter lives, and we're going to have Christmas there this year. So I've got stuff everywhere, and I've got to spend tomorrow before church time getting everything cleaned back up and ready to go, because I was wrapping gifts, so there's wrapping paper everywhere, but I wrapped my last one. I am done. Okay, now we can come out over that, under there, just to kind of give it that wispy look. Alrighty, so there's that one. And now let's do the same thing with the beard, but we're going to go in a different direction. So I just added some more moisture. Hi, Cindy. Okay, what do you ladies think? Everybody that comments on here tonight, on this live, everyone that comments will get this as some happy mail. I will mail it to you. Don't think it'll get there before Christmas, but we'll do a drawing, and I will send you this little Santa. He's kind of heavy, but I put gold rope on him. So tonight I will choose somebody from the comments, from Northeast Georgia, and we'll get some happy mail. So remember, I did this one really fast last week, so don't judge me on this one. But anyway, I'm going to send it to you. I've enjoyed him. I've hung him around here the last couple of days, letting him dry. And, but I will send that to somebody after the live. And everyone that comments on here, you'll have a chance to be gifted that. So let me get you back down here. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing just like if it were a mustache. We're going to go kind of straight and just kind of curve out down here, but then really curve out on the edges. So if you're just hopping on and you did not hear the announcement earlier today, I did have some big news at the beginning, so go back and watch, replay. Now this little brush is kind of splitting, so I'm going to switch to my other liner brush. Lots of moisture in there. Whoops, see if this one does any better. I just dropped it, so don't pay any attention to that. This is a shorter handle, much shorter handle on this one. Bristles kind of sticking together there. All right, so we're just gonna out, and you just work it, work it, work it until it gives you the effect that you want, and you're coming out this way from the beard, out to the left on this side. Once you get the base, you can do some curlies with it. And that dark gray that we shaded under there really helps with the separation of that. It's not super noticeable, but it does give us, you can tell where the mustache starts and the stops and the beard starts. Now again, I'm coming out away from the beard. You can't see it because it's white, a white background. But on your actual piece, you would be able to see it coming out and wisping out. And I just keep working down and down until I get it covered. And you may have to go back and do a different layer. And again, you can reverse this. You could do this white and then do wispy gray strokes. And I am just wisping it out, just so super, super easy. It is just straight and curved lines. Some are short, some are long, and I just keep dipping my brush, getting it a little wet. I wouldn't have to do that as much on the regular piece, but this is cardboard and it soaks it up. So you don't want any harsh marks like right here. Like if I started right here, I don't want to be able to see that I started a stroke right there. I want to kind of blend it in. Okay, so that's a little harsh and I'm blending it in here. With this, you know, top beard, it just takes a little bit of patience, but I think the result is really worth it. Now, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because we've got 4 more that we need to do. Or 3 more, I don't remember. Okay, so I'm going to come down. Remember, this is his nose right here. And then you would have cheeks and eyes. I'm really getting that paint moist and loading that brush up. And you just want to go the direction of your beard. This one curves. Got a little curly Q here. You could even use maybe a little bit larger, depending on your piece, how large it is, round brush on it. You think how many strands of hair are in a beard. You know, so it's going to take it just a little bit longer than you normally would spend on something to get that look. And I'm just feathering it in. And I'm swirling out. Okay, and now I'm just kind of back and forth just to kind of fill in some of those spots. I want to be sure that I don't have a harsh line showing over here, so I want to cover that up as much as possible. You don't want to be able to see that harsh beard line under there where the edge is. You want to see some of the gray, but you don't want to be able to see that outline. Okay, then I'm just kind of working it in so I don't have any of that harshness. Okay, now we're going to start coming out the other way. I would continue going around this until I got it covered up enough that, again, you can't see that line. But for time's sake, I'm not going to get it just exactly right because I've got some different ways that I want to show you. Okay, but here's the side with and the side without. Oh, you're welcome, Jerry. So I am just, if I'd had 4 Santas cut, we would have done 4 Santas. But I just thought this would be a little bit faster and easier. So to show you kind of upside down, just out. And then as you get down here by that edge, just really start filling it in with little short strokes. And then work those back up in. More than likely you're going to have a mouth here. But on this one that I did, that somebody's going to get for Happy Mail, I didn't have a mouth on it. So it just depends on the Santa. So this is exactly what I did on that little one. I keep dipping my brush in the water. Okay, so this one, now we're going to start going out this way to the on the other side. You could do curly cues on it. I mean, you could just do it any way you want. I'm doing this just the straight curved lines. Does that make sense? Straight curved. Is there such thing as a straight curved? So practice, practice, practice on. Paper sacks are good to practice on. Just cut them up like your Brahms sacks. Just cut them up into squares, and they're really, really great to practice on. And I do that a lot. I will practice if I'm trying to learn something new, or if it's been a while since I've done it. I will practice. Okay, so we've got that curly cue there. And I'm just being very free with this. Crossing over some. I want to make sure to come down where that mustache is, so that it doesn't look like it's part of the mustache. Probably should have come down a little bit more over here on this side. But you can also still put a little bit more of that dark gray if you want to. And we're coming out to the side, but it's not showing on this because of the white. I know I already said that, but we've got some new ones that have hopped on here. Okay, let me turn it this way. It looks so funny on this board with no face or anything. We went to my daughter's house Saturday. She lives right by, it's Lake Ray Hubbard. She lives down close to Dallas. And they had a Christmas boat parade. There were probably maybe 40 boats. Some boats were little and some boats were huge. And I mean, they were decked out with Christmas lights, and some of them had the lights going with the music on them, and the water was so calm, and everything was just glistening off of that water. It was cold. I mean, we were bundled up with coats and blankets and lawn chairs. It was 70, almost 80 degrees Friday, and then it got down in the 20s. Welcome to Texas. I mean, it changes every hour, but so we got pretty cold, but it just lasted about 30, 45 minutes, but it was so pretty. And there were a lot of people there. Okay, and then again, getting close to that edge, you're going to fill it in a little bit so that that edge is not showing. And you just continue working it out. Now we've still got a lot of gray down here showing. Working that in. Okay, so you get the idea on this one. It's just a lot of liner strokes. Whichever direction you've got your beard going in. You might have a side view of a Santa, and it would be all one direction. Okay, so we're not going to do any more on this one. That kind of gives you the idea. It's exactly what I did on this one, just on a huge scale. And this one needs a lot more, but for time's sake, we're going to move on to the next one. Okay, so that's the liner. With the liner brush on that. Let's see, let me hang this little guy back up here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do another one that's got gray. I'm going to lay that one over to dry. And again, that's that one. And you would add a lot more right in here until you got it the consistency that it needs to be. And that's a little bit darker gray than maybe you would want to use on it. All right, let's go with this one. This one is, we are going to use what is called a rake brush. I like to use a stiff one when I'm doing this. And this gives it a little bit different texture. And we can also, on one side, I'll show you with the chip brush. Okay, so let's get some gray background in here. Now the mustache, I would probably use a much smaller brush on it and just do the line work on it like we just did. So I'm just very haphazardly filling this in. I got some of the cutest napkins in. I ordered a lot of napkins, Christmas napkins, so that I would have them next year and not be looking everywhere. But then I got a lot of spring ones that are adorable. So I'm going to be doing some Mod Podging again. So I'll do some Mod Podging with you on here. Okay, so I'm just getting a gray background now so that we can see what we're going to be doing. It's a terrible brush, but but I don't want to ruin one of my other brushes on this cardboard either. This is a little bit darker gray than what I would use, but I used it so that it would show up for you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put some of that dark underneath the mustache. I'm going to load it with my base coat color and put some of that dark on there. Putting a little more dark on here too, under the mustache, than I probably normally would, but just so it'll show up for you. Now this one's got a mouth, so you would go under the mouth with it. Be sure to let me know if you've just hopped on, if you're going to Tamara Bennett's Southern Adornments Live. Okay, so we've got the dark under the mustache there, and I do that every time on my beards. Okay, so let me draw just a tad. We left for church Sunday night, put the garage door down just fine. It went down just fine. Came home from church and we could not get the garage door to open. It would only open about 2 feet and then stop. We tried everything and it would not do anything. So we had to call a company to come look at it. Turned out one of the springs had broken. So he came out and looked at it. He said, well, the spring is broken and the other could go at any time. We've had it for a long time. He said the other spring could go at any time and you really need some new little rollers on it. And I'm thinking, okay, you know, I think we probably paid $500 for the whole thing, the whole unit when we bought it. Just to replace a spring, 2 springs and 2 rollers was almost $900. I've about had it with this inflation, y'all. I'm about done with it. All right, I'm going to add just a little more gray on there. Over $800. And he was here maybe 30 minutes. I just couldn't believe it. But I can top that. When I went to Walmart today, I bought it over a month ago. I get the large package of Charmin tissue. I think it's got 48 in it. And I usually pay, I think it's 16 something, 16, 17 for it. I mean, it's the big one. $31.95 for a package of toilet paper. $31.95. I about came unglued. Hi, Heather. And I don't know what these young families are doing. I mean, everything's just out of control price-wise. Okay, so we did the liner one. So let's take this rake brush. Now, the rake brush, I like a stiff one when I'm doing this. We're going to do one side this way, and then we'll try the chip brush and see what. And that's what I do. I just end up playing around until I get it like I want. Just different ways with different brushes, just to see what effect that I'll get. So Heather, if you've just jumped on, we're just using cardboard and showing different ways to do Santa beards. I just showed how to do it with a liner brush. This is just on cardboard. I've had several requests for this, so that's why we're doing it. So we're not doing faces or anything tonight. So this, you would just take it in. Well, I hope it works on this cardboard. I haven't tried this beforehand. But you're just going to scrape it out. Of course, it's going to show up on your piece out here. This is white, so it's not going to show up. I'm going to get just a little bit of moisture because my white was getting dry. And I'm not touching it real hard. But I'm just scraping it. And then I would just line the mustache with a liner brush. I'm swooping it out. And then you would just kind of come straight down there. A soft bristled rake brush is not real good for this. Okay, added a little more water to it and it's a little bit easier to control. You don't want it super wet, but now this cardboard, like I said, is drinking it up more than normal. So you can get a nice effect. And it's so hard to see on this cardboard, but I am just sweeping it out, swooping it out. And you want to get that harsh line here. Of course, on your wood piece, it would be the edge of your wood. keep swooping it. Get right up to that mustache. Okay, so that's with the rake brush, or fan brush, it's called either way. I think this is called more of a fan than it is the rake. The rake doesn't have quite as many bristles in it, but it would give you the same effect. Now, with this dry bristle brush, let me get a little more white here. Typically, you would do it when you're dry brushing. You wouldn't have any liquid on there at all. But I think since this is cardboard, we're going to have a little bit of liquid on it. So I'm adding just a little bit of water. And you can see I've used this one a lot. And that's when you get a really good chip brush for dry brushing. I'm just getting it on and then getting most of it off. Almost sounds like a pig. Oink, oink, oink. Okay, y'all, I'm tired. Can you tell? When your paintbrushes start sounding like a pig, that means you've been at it too long today. And you want to make sure that your gray is dry underneath. You don't want to do it while it's wet. You want to make sure it's really good and dry, or you're going to end up with just a dirty white. And this gray was not completely dry. So see how I'm getting gray here because it's not completely dry? And down here where it's that harsh line, you want to kind of and I suggest that you do this part of it, and then you're going to use this method, then do your mustache. Okay, now this is a separate technique, so don't think that this is both going to be on the same beard. You're either going to use this on this technique or you're going to use this. You don't want to do both. And then curve it out. And just keep going until you get as much of the gray covered as you want to. Now this cardboard has ridges in it, so it's giving a little bit of different effect than it would if you were doing it on your wood piece. So there's two different techniques, fan brush and just a chip brush with not much moisture at all in it. And you would just keep working around that edge. Now your beard may be on top of his outfit, or this may be the actual edge. So it just depends on how your piece is. Okay, so there's a different way on that one. Let's see. If we were going to do one white, I can't do it on this because the background is white, but you could reverse it if you wanted to and do the white underneath and then do the gray on the top. I like the gray underneath. Okay, so there's a different method, and then you would, just like we did on that first one, just go out here and do his mustache. Almost looks like a gnome with no face, doesn't it? Yeah, I do too, Peggy. I like the chip brush. And a lot of it depends on your fan brush, you know, what type that you have. Okay, so let's do it another way. All right, so that's 3 ways so far. Okay, now on this one, let's do this one. Let's get some gray under here. Might have to get some more gray. Yeah. All right, we're using that lighter gray. I used to be terrified. Literally would get just nervous thinking about doing Santas. They just intimidated me so much. And I finally just dove in like this. I just started practicing on, I don't remember what it was I was practicing on. I think it was poster board. And until I got more and more comfortable with them, and now it's one of my favorite things to paint. A little bit of moisture in there. So. Okay, now the mustaches I usually do the same way, so I'm not going to do each mustache. I have to compliment Amazon. I've gotten every gift I ordered in a very timely fashion, and I even ordered all those napkins on Etsy, and they were here within just 2 to 3 days. They were here, so I know everybody's been working really hard to get packages out. Okay, so for this one, let me dry that. We're going to use a sponge. Now, I would probably put a little bit of buttermilk color. Just kind of a buttermilk color under it too, to give it a little bit different effect. But you definitely want to make sure this is dry before you do it. Okay, I think that's dry enough. Let me get this other one here. Okay, this one I have no idea who did this one. I bought it at a garage sale. I think I paid $2 for this whole thing. But this is just a creamy white underneath, and then it looks like they've used a very, very light tan just to kind of give it an antique-y look. Very just dry brushed on, but I love it. It's just kind of an older look. So there's just so many different ways. I just think he's so cute, and his eyes are not even open. You know, there's just not a ton of detail in it, but it just grabbed me. I love the background color, and this is just an old picture frame, and this is a separate piece of wood, and they just nailed the wood on. Here's the wood that it's on, and I just loved it for $2. I mean, so if you're out there and you painted this, I bought this probably 20 years ago, 15 years ago maybe. So if you painted this, I bought it out on Highway 82 in Sherman. So let me know if you're the painter of this. I have no idea. It's not signed on the back, so I have no idea who did it, but I have sure gotten a lot of enjoyment out of it. Okay, so let's take our sponge. I am going to get it a little bit wet and then just really squeeze it out good, because I don't want it, you know, real muddled, but I do want it damp enough that the paint's not going to dry real quick in it. So this is just a sea sponge, and I'm just going to use the tip of it. And just dab it down in that. I'm going to get it on, but then I'm going to get most of it off. And so you can just dab his little beard on. Now you don't want to cover all that gray up. And with the face and everything, it's going to look a lot better, a lot different. And I try to do it so that it doesn't look like round sponge circles. And just kind of blend it out. So I'm just reloading. I'm getting it on and then getting it off. Get a little more off. This one's real easy to get rid of that harsh outline on it. I really like using sponges. I've got, can't get to it right now because I've got so much stuff ready over there for the craft sale, but a big window. It's in my, I think I have posted, I know I've posted it before, so you might can go back in my photos and find it, but it's an old window that I painted lots of flowers and a hummingbird on it, lots of different flowers, and I used little pieces of this to do most of the flowers on it, and it turned out so pretty. I have not taken it to a craft show because it's one of those that I've had a hard time parting with. Okay, so you can leave it just like this, and look how fast that was. Pounced. Go ahead and drop that in the water. And then, if you want, you can leave it just like that. Now, I didn't really finish it over here, but, and then you can add, some little wispies to it if you want to. Or you can leave it just like that. So that's going to give you a whole nother look. Okay, so that's the pouncing method. Of course, I didn't finish it out, but that gives you the idea on that. And this looks really cute. I mean, it does really well. These sea sponges, you can get them at Walmart, Hobby Lobby. I've even seen them at Lowe's before. I don't know if they still carry them or not. But they're great for a lot of different things. Okay, so that's 4 ways now. And again, you could do solid white and then pounce a little bit of gray and white mixed on it. So you just play around with it. Okay, so this one, I'm going to go ahead and put some white down. on it. We'll see how it does on this cardboard, but we're going to base coat it in white. Maybe it's a little bit whiter than that cardboard, so I think you can see it. Now this is no gray underneath it. This is just white. So it would be solid white. And we want to get it real good and dry once we get this white on it. And I'm kind of doing little wisps, the base coat. And I'm not even staying in lines because it's not a real piece. So you guys know that I wouldn't be going all over the piece if it was a real piece. Okay, now you could leave it just like that. Of course, we'd have his mustache going up here. And this is his mouth. Okay, so let's dry that. Love this little dryer. So quiet. I wore my Santa apron for you since we were working on Santas. I went into Hobby Lobby to grab something that I had seen a couple of days before. And I should know better when I see something that I want, I really like, grab it then. You always think, well, I'll run back and get it. I'll come back. Of course, they were all gone. Their shelves were wiped out. And I asked if Hobby Lobby had had any trouble getting their shipments in, you know, getting all their cargo, and they said no. We got double what we normally get, and it was wiped out. 2 weeks ago, it was just, everything just gone. So people have just been buying like panic buying, like it wasn't going to be there. Okay, so this one, we've just got our white underneath. Now before we've been doing the gray underneath. But this time we're going to do the white underneath and the gray on top. So I've got my brush a little bit moist. I'm going to get that base coat white on here. And then we're going to get just a little bit. Now you might want to go with a little bit lighter gray, but I'm going to go with this dark gray so you can see it. So I've got just a little bit on the tip. And then it's pretty just like this, and you could just outline it in the gray. I mean, just shade it like, just go around the edge. And do it just around and just blend it in. Now this one's kind of a curved one, so just follow the curves. We would do that all the way around. My board curved up when I dried it. So I'm just dipping back into that gray. I'm just really blending it in. Just feathering it out. Okay, and then I would probably go underneath the mustache. And underneath the mouth. Okay, so we've got it outlined. A little bit more of that base color. Okay, so there's what we've got so far. Kind of looks like a cloud. Let's go a little bit darker with this one. Okay, so we would do the same thing all inside the beard. Just put a little bit on the edge. And then just wherever you wanted little wispies. Going to kind of come straight down there in the center, curve them. And then I'm going to turn it upside down so that I can go the other direction. And I'm reloading with some more of that gray. And then we're just going to come and go the other direction over here. Just feathering it in. All right, let me hold it up and see what we've got going on here. And I'm just kind of crisscrossing them. And just working them in. Kind of a cloudy cotton ball beard look. Now if you want to tone it down a little bit, just come back over it with white just to kind of soften it, just not much white. Let's go ahead and put a little red there to separate that, the mouth. So I like this too. It's kind of a puffy. You like the sponge technique, Terry? I do too. I mean, I like them all. Every time I do one, I'm like, oh, okay, that's my favorite. That's my favorite. But then I do another one and go, well, maybe that's my favorite. I don't know. It just depends on which one I'm painting at the time. You just can't go wrong with Santa. Okay, so let's see what it looked like here with some lips. I just pulled some Tuscan red. And we'll do a little bit to, just a little bit to his mustache because I really didn't even base coat it. But don't be afraid of it like I was. I was such a wimp for so many years and just wouldn't even attempt one. I don't know why. Why the middle block with Santas, but they are really not that hard, and especially now that we've got patterns, you know, that we can put on with carbon paper, and so many tutorials that you can watch now. Okay, let's put some black in there. Didn't look like black. It's not black, it's green. I poured green out. Look at that. Somehow, I don't know if I put it back in there or what, but that is not black. That is green. It says black, but it is not. So who knows what I did. It's a very, very dark green. It would be a good piney green. Maybe it's just the, I don't know, but it doesn't look black. Let's put it on here and see what we get. It looks green to me. Maybe it's the way the light is shining on it. Okay, it's black, but the way the light's shining on it, it looks like a dark, dark green. So you would just fill the inside of his mouth with black. So y'all, I guess it's, you call it a type A personality? I don't know, but Tamara just asked me 2 weeks ago to be an instructor, and I'm already preparing things. I mean, I've already got a lot of the stuff done, prepared, instructions, paint colors sent to her. I cut out some patterns for what we're going to be doing. I've already got those cut out. And I'm just about done with it, and I'm ready to go set up. So I have to have things ready ahead of time, and I have to know what's going on. I have to know exactly what's going to be going on. And so I told her her workers are either going to absolutely love me to the moon and back, or they're going to go. And you asked her why? Of course, they would never do that. Okay, so there's our mouth and our lips. Let's put a little bit of, I would normally just use a darker red, but let's just use some black here for the little lip lines. And we'll put a little, oops, I went the wrong way with it. Anyway, that's supposed to be a highlight. Let's go ahead and put his little nose color. I like to use the Santa Flesh is what it's called, but I also have this creamy peach color from Apple Barrel that will work. This one is a really easy pattern. The little puff cloud is kind of what I call it. Okay, and I've got my white and my red out here, so I'm going to make a little bit of pink. I'm going to mix the two to make some pink. To go on his nose. Ooh, that's too pink. Still too pink. Lighten it up just a little bit. Just to give him some little blushy look on his nose. Okay, and then for the mustache, I would just go in like we were doing a minute ago, only I would do it with the gray since our background base coat color is the white. I'm getting it really thin with this liner brush. And you would just, like we did on the other one, and just kind of come down over the mustache. And just follow the shape of the mustache all the way around. Great, it's getting really dry here. And it's not going to take much with that white background. That gray is going to really show up good. And I'm dipping in the water almost after every stroke. So you can just reverse it. You can do gray underneath, white on top, white underneath, and gray on top. So it is just your preference. It will work either way. And I promise it'll look much better on your piece than it does on this piece of cardboard. But this gets you comfortable with it so that when you do it actually on the piece, you're not afraid of it. And again, it's just paint. You can paint over it. Okay, so there's that one. And see what a difference it makes when you start adding the little details. When you've just got this on there, it just looks like a cloud that went wrong. Or a dreamy cloud. But when you start adding the details and you put their little face and the eyes and, you know, everything, it's going to make such a difference. But I did have one like that, but I don't know what I did with it. That was painted on wood. But I've got a picture of it on there. So we did 4 different techniques. And this, you know, again, these are only a few. I mean, there's just so many different ways that you can do it, but you're getting to the point now, and I think I would even go back in with this one and add, once I get that gray in there on that mustache, and just come back and just kind of tone it down a little bit with some white wispy strokes in there too. And maybe some highlight on his nose. So let me get these others over here. Grab you up here, and then I'll show you some of the napkins that I got. Thanks, Miss Tracy with Miss Tracy Creates. She has me addicted to Mod Podging napkins. Okay, so don't forget, at the end of this, I will put everybody that commented on here and that sprinkled the love with the video, sprinkled it to your friends and family. I'm going to put all your names in there, and somebody's going to win this little Santa that we did quickly last week. It's a really nice piece of wood, and it's on gold, so we'll see who's going to win that, and I will let you know. So we did this one with white underneath and gray on top, and that was with just flat brush, and then a little bit of liner brush here. So on that one, we did the pouncing on this one, and I would probably pounce a little more over here, but that is really pretty when it's on a Santa. It looks really nice. Thank you, Peggy. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Judy. Y'all always have, hi, Grace. I didn't see your name up there. But y'all always have the sweetest comments. Okay, so this one we did 2 different techniques on. We used the our fan brush on this one. And its whiskers are coming out here, but you can't see it on that white. And then we used just a chip brush to bring it out here. Just kind of a dry brush with it that way. And then this one, I think right now it just looks so funny on this because we didn't really finish it out. But that's with the streaks. It looks more like a heart with wings right now, the way it looks. But this technique is what I used on him. So once you actually put it on the piece, it does look like a beard on there. So I hope this is helpful to do. This is the way I do it. I just kind of sit and play with them until I get it the way that I want it. And I just play around with it. I think we used, what, 5 different brushes, 6 different brushes here. So I just play around with different brushes until, and just see what they do. And, you know, any one of these would work just fine. So you could do 4 or 5 different Santas using these techniques and still come out with a really nice looking Santa. This one is super easy, you know, super easy to do. Just white background and just some little bit of shading strokes here, comma strokes, this way and kind of straight down. So that one's easy. So try it. Let me know when, you know, when you've done one, post it. You're welcome to post it on here. Oh, you're so welcome. I just want everybody to, you know, there's just so much for me to still learn. And I just know how hard it was when I started. Let me tell you this. Here's the way I started. We didn't have internet. We didn't have, you know, any of the technology part. We used books. I've had these books forever. And they've got some of the most beautiful patterns in them. And I'm starting a class next month with Texas Wildflowers of Texas Association. And I'm going to go to be learning some more. And I love, love, love this book. It is one of my favorites. And it is by Jamie Mills. And I've had this one for a long time. But look at those adorable, adorable patterns. And all those patterns are in here. And they're in here for us to, you would trace the pattern on with carbon paper. I've painted that one I don't know how many times. Well, the class that I'm going to next month, I asked them who the instructor was going to be, and they said, oh, it's going to be Jamie Mills. And I said, the Jamie Mills that put all these magazines, I've got, I don't know how many books, painting books of hers that I have. And they said, yes, that's her. So I get to go learn under her. Somebody that I've admired for so long. Look at those little pictures on there. And I don't know that they even put the books out anymore. I really don't. I have painted this one many times on things, the little gingerbread men. So I am just beyond excited. It is just, I've just had so much excitement this month with finding out about the live with Tamara, and then this, I'm going to get to be learning under her. I'm just beyond excited. So there's just so many avenues, and I used to get, now this place went out of business, but it's called the Artist Club, but they would send us these little magazines all the time to order paints from, but they would always have samples of things for you to paint, and just lots of different patterns and things in here for you to look at. But I just look at magazines all the time. I'll pick up magazine and I'll think, ooh, I could paint that, you know, and you want to change it up to make it yours. But this is where, I mean, this is how I got a lot of my ideas. Thanks, Judy. I appreciate you getting on. It's just looking at magazines, getting ideas. How did they do their faces? Greeting cards, birthday cards, children's coloring books are wonderful. Look at this one. It's got so many cute things in it. So when you get things in the mail, you know, just look at them. Look at that little scarecrow. I painted him on a big window one time, changed him up to make him mine, and it sold really, really fast. But when we go on trips and things, I probably have 50 books at least, and I look at them all the time, especially when we go on trips. That's what I do. But look at this beard. Now what we just did, you would look at that and you go, man, I can't paint that. Now this is a little ceramic something, I think, but we just did it. You can do this. It's not hard. Now that you start watching tutorials like this and you see things, you can look at this now and know, you know, that it's in layers. You know that you can do it step by step. Look how we've painted how many snowmen. You can see that now and go, I know how they did that. I know. Look at those dark colors. They shaded it. Or look up here, they highlighted. We've been doing all that. You can definitely do it. You just can't look at the overall picture and go, I could never do that. You just have to break it down into steps, in layers, and you know, just be patient with it, and you can do anything that anybody else can do. Just takes practice, and just have confidence in yourself. Alrighty, ladies, I'm going to get off of here. Hi, Janet. I don't know if it's Jeanette or Janet, but go back and watch the beginning of the video. I did have a big announcement, but I'm going to get off here. I'm going to draw a name, and then I will post whoever's going to get this guy. It's not super, super heavy, but it is a little bit heavy. So I will send you this in the mail. So let me get off of here and I will get a name drawn. I got to get everybody's name and see who commented and who sprinkled the video. But I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful to you, and anything like that you want me to do, just let me know, and I'll do my best to, you know, to do some tutorials like that. If there's something else that you've been struggling with that maybe I've already gone through that struggle, I'll be happy to help you and show you, you know, how to do it. So have a very Merry Christmas, but I will talk to you before then, I'm sure. I've got some more little things that I'll try to get on here and do with you. We have our Christmas this Saturday, have company coming in, and then we're going out of town for, I'll be out of town most of the weekend. So we are super excited to be with all of our family. When all of our savages get together, it is loud, crazy, and fun, and we just absolutely enjoy it. So love you guys. Thank you so much for your support, and I will get off here and get a name drawn. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.